Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another interview with an Amsterdam Academy Press author. Today, I'd like to welcome a very special guest, author Carmen Monge. Carmen found Amsterdam Academy Press through one of her other authors, Vasia Sarantopoulos, and ever since our first meeting last December, I've been in awe of Carmen's positive energy as the driving force behind her forthcoming book, CanCan and the Adventure of Mìng Island, which marks the beginning of a heartwarming trilogy dedicated to addressing the challenges of cancer in a positive and uplifting way. Join CanCan and his friends on a quest to find the golden crab, where they'll encounter not only physical obstacles, but also navigate the social and emotional aspects of a cancer journey. Carmen, welcome. Welcome today. And please, if you could tell us more about why you wrote this book.
Hi, Hannah, and thank you for the interview. I really believe in early education and health literacy. And I really believe that kids that have some kind of knowledge about that disease or a challenge can face better challenges in the future, and also can understand and help others that are facing the challenges. So my motivation for making CanCan happen is just that, in a way, as a cancer survivor, I realized that when I want to talk about cancer with others, I didn't receive the support that I needed because people is so afraid about talking about cancer. So I thought okay, how can I fix this? Yeah, thanks to a lot of advocacy that I have done for the last 10 years, I realized that maybe is tackling the kids, start talking about cancer from an early age, but not from the point of view of you see it on the movies, that is a lot of pain and a lot of treatments and hospitals, more like a fun game in a way. I know that it could be triggering for someone because cancer could be very painful, a painful word. But yeah, we have to start talking about it. And the kids, they are the perfect sample for that.
Yeah, and I think it's such a wonderful way to address cancer. And like you said, I think people are really afraid to even broach the subject. And in that sense, it's like a taboo no-go area. So who is the book written for? Who's your audience? You said it's a children's book, but is it also meant for adults?
Oh, yeah. I remember when I started talking to you, I told you that one of my favorite books is The Little Prince. And I really like that book because it's not only for kids, but it's also for adults. So the other people that have read CanCan say okay, it's very important for kids, but also the adults are thinking about it and questioning a lot about the illness as well. So I think it is meant to be for kids from 7 to 11 years old, but definitely I would love that also adults read it and see this cancer journey from a different perspective, because as you said, it's not only the physical that is the treatments and everything, is also the social and emotional aspects that a cancer journey can bring.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you're writing this book, and I'm excited to read it. And I think it's worth mentioning your academic background is rooted in science. You have a bachelor's degree in chemistry, which was my worst subject ever in college, so I really admire you for that, and an Erasmus Mundus master's cum laude in food innovation and product design across Europe. So how does your science background complement your role as a children's book author? Because those are two very separate things when you think about it, but perhaps they're connected in some way.
I think they are connected in a way that everything that I do, I like to have some kind of background. So the book, I do research in cancer right now in this moment. That is part of my job. I work in Youth Cancer Europe in the topic of equity, diversity, and inclusion. Studying about this and looking how is cancer in the world made me think about this book. So what I really like about CanCan is that it's not only from my imagination and my experience, but also I try to have some kind of literature background. CanCan and the Adventure of the Mìng Island is the first book of 3 books. I decided to do this because a cancer journey cannot be summarized only in one book. Cannot be summarized only in 3 books, but it's a good start, right? And from the literature, I find out that a cancer journey can be divided in 3 parts. That's why I decided to be 3 books: in the diagnosis, finishing of the treatment, and also life after cancer.
And I remember you mentioning when we talked that you gave each of these 3 books a different color as well to symbolize that.
Yeah, exactly. So the first one, I decided to put a lavender because represent resilience and also the start of a new journey. The second one is green because it represents growth and renewal and also the victory over a challenge. And the third one is going to be a sky blue because represent back to a new normal and also hope and recovery and peace. So yeah, I'm a very artistic person, so I really like the colors and how to combine it with the meaning of life.
Yeah, I love that idea. And especially with the third, I think that that's something people don't think about is if you are a cancer survivor, life after and that hope that you mentioned and comes along with that. So I'm so curious to see the whole full series and how you tie those colors in as well. Tell us about the characters.
Okay, so the characters, they are 5 main characters. The first one is CanCan, that is the panda that has cancer. The second one is a sloth, that is CanCan's best friend, adventure companion. The third one is a chimpanzee, that is the caregiver of CanCan. The fourth one is the doctor, that, yeah, you will love the doctor. I'm quite sure that you will love it. The fifth one is a toucan, that is also a cancer survivor. So why I decided to make them animals and so diverse is because I want this book to represent EDI, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and I want to put an animal from many parts of the world, and that represent a lot of things. And in the other books, there are coming another character from other parts of the world that they are going to help CanCan to keep going and facing this journey that is cancer.
So CanCan is always the main character going through all of the 3 books, and
Yes,
different characters join him along the adventures that he takes.
yes.
Can you tell us about the writing process for you? Where did you write? When? Did you have a workplace? Did you write every Monday morning? Or maybe just the work that you did with any editors or beta readers? Or just tell us about what the process was like for you as a self-published author.
Like the idea came out because I was volunteering as a body in the Eurotalenton. Yeah, it was a body of one team, and they were working on cancer. So they came with the idea of making a board game. And I thought that was really, really good idea because it was this kind of the same concept, like introducing cancer to kids in an early stage. And they won the prize, the final prize, and they even won 2 prizes. So I was super proud of them.
Wow.
And in a way, I thought like, okay, I don't know if I can make a board game, but I can write because I'm from a writer's family. My grandpa brought 3 books.
Oh,
And
wow. I
yeah,
didn't know
since
that
I was
about you.
kids,
That's great.
I really like it. So I thought like, oh, maybe to write a book. And yeah, I got inspired by my nieces and my nephews that how I will explain to them in a fun way what is cancer. So that's how the idea came out. And when I started working, I know many cancer survivors from everywhere. I am very lucky to have a very big network. And I realized that many of the challenges that we faced and we are facing were the same. And something that I did is I wanted to make it like in a more it's scene where it's full of nature because I'm from Costa Rica, so I really like nature. So I went to the botanical gardens in the place that I live.
Oh,
And I went to the greenhouse where is all the tropicals and they have benches. So normally I went there to write or a coffee, or I also like to go to museums. So I write in the cafeteria of the museums and things like that. Yeah, after I finished my first draft, I got the help from my sister that she has kids. Also, other cancer survivors really helped me to give a structure. As beta readers, I had not only cancer survivors, but also psycho-oncologists, pediatric psychologists, even counselors, many people review it and gave me their opinion. And yeah, I shaped it in a way that I was happy with the content.
That's great. I mean, and that's why it's also been such a pleasure to work with you, because you're such a driven person and you've already thought about all these things that we normally advise on with beta readers and such. I mean, you really went through all these steps and gave it some good thought. And I think the feedback you've gotten, I think the important thing is also to make sure your voice is still in there, and it sounds like it is. So my compliments for that whole process that you went through. And what did you enjoy most about the writing process?
I really enjoy, in a way, the freedom, because I am a very creative person. Since I was a kid, I knew like I love to paint, I love to write, I love to cook, to bake. So I know that I had it in myself. But since I study science, chemistry is very methodological. So you have to do this steps, and many people will review it, and you have to put a reference for everything. And this process was more free. Like I just write, and everything that was on my imagination was kind of a relief for me to just write what my mind was making out and make changes, and don't think about like, okay, what the science says about this, if I'm saying something that is very crazy or not. It's for kids, like they love imagination. So in a way, I think I have the imagination of a kid. So it was quite easy for me.
Great answer. And I love how you also wrote, like you said, in the botanical gardens and got into that jungle vibe as well, you being from Costa Rica and really having fun with it. It sounds like a great writing journey. And you're also an ambassador for the European Network of Childhood and Youth Cancer Survivors, and you're a cancer advocate at the Youth Cancer Europe. And the official announcement of your book is coming up very soon, February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, because that is the International Children's Cancer Day. Can you tell us more about your advocacy role and the significance of having this pre-launch for your book on International Children's Cancer Day?
Okay, CanCan is a kid that has 10 years old. Because normally when you think about cancer, even before I had cancer, when you think about this, you think only old people get it. And no, it's quite common in young populations and everywhere, like high income and low income. And something that struck me when I was doing all my research and everything is the inequity that you get depending on the country that you live, or depending on the region that you live. And I was shocked when I realized that in high-income countries, the survival rate of childhood cancer is 80%, so it's quite high. But in low-income countries, it's only 30%.
It's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference. Yeah. They should have the chance to keep living. And this book, I really want to educate people, not only children, but also adults. Yeah, something that I really want to do is to dedicate some part of the funds to charity in low-income countries, to cancer care, especially in childhood, adolescent, and young adults.
It's an excellent idea. So part of the proceeds will go to charities that you've selected and to lower income countries dealing with children and cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you have any tips as we end the interview? And before I tell everyone where they can get their hands on a copy of the book, do you have any tips for authors looking to self-publish?
Well, I didn't know that was so difficult in a way, like, because I started writing the book, and when they asked me, but you are going to self-publish and who is the publisher and everything, I thought like, oh, okay, I didn't thought about this when I started writing the book. I think it's just to find the right team, definitely, like people that supports you in every decision and that they give you an honest feedback, because that is something that I doubt a lot since I come from a scientific background. I'm used to people reviewing everything that I do and give me a feedback. So when it's out, I know for sure that is what the industry or the scientists want to read. Mm-hmm. In this case, it's more free. So you have to be very sure where you're putting and that you are sure that you want to put it.
Yeah, and can you tell us quickly about the illustrations and your illustrator for this book? Because the illustrations are beautiful for those that haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, it was a really nice process because I found this illustrator from Chile, from Latin America, and that was something that I was really looking for because I'm a very artistic person. I thought I really want drawings that I like them, and I think with a self-publish you can achieve that, but maybe with a common publisher they will pick up the drawings themselves. I don't know, right? I'm super new at this. This is what I learned. But in a way, that was one of the reasons why I decided to go so self-publish, because I really want to have control on the illustrations.
Yeah, I think that's a huge benefit of self-publishing, like you said, and I'll be sure to tag your illustrator here when we post the video so people can also find her and her beautiful work. And CanCan is just the cutest panda ever, so I'm really excited to see him in action in your book. Final question, what's next for you?
Regarding the book, I have to still write the second and the third one. So that
Lots
is
of writing ahead.
yes. And also I want to translate it in other languages. So the first one that I want to translate it is in Spanish. Since I'm a native speaker, probably I'm going to do it myself. And the other languages, I really want that the translators are cancer survivors or cancer patients as well, because I think that they will really give the essence of what is it. Definitely, I'm going to proofread it and everything, but I really want that this is also their voice.
That's great. Most importantly, I think here at the end to mention where people can get their hands on your book. CanCan and the Adventures of Mìng Island will be in the pre-launch on the 15th of February. So make sure you keep track on Carmen's LinkedIn and Amsterdam Academy Press's LinkedIn profiles, but also our social channels, Instagram, Facebook, and the Amsterdam Academy Press website, amsterdamacademy.com. We'll be announcing when the book is coming out in June. We have the official launch in the Netherlands. Carmen will be coming back to us here in Europe for the official launch, but you can already follow the vibe and find out how you can order the book. It'll be available for print on demand worldwide on platforms like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Waterstones, even your favorite bookstore, where you just give them the ISBN number and they're able to get the book for you. So go out there and get yourself a copy of Carmen's wonderful book. And thank you so much, Carmen, for your time today and for telling us about CanCan and the Adventures of Mìng Island. It was a pleasure. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.